Hey everyone, it's Michael, GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I just want to let you know up front, having this weird thing, my bottom lip is really swollen, a little dry mouth today, I don't know. I've been drinking a lot of liquids. I'm also congested a little bit more than I've been the last 4 or 5 days. So anyway, if I sound a little bit different, if my voice sounds a little bit more nasally, that's probably why. Anyway, today I have a book review for the, I want to say sequel, but it really kind of doesn't count, but it really kind of does. The sequel to Creature Teacher from the Series 2000 books of Goosebumps that I just reviewed a couple of days ago. This is the technical sequel to that, but it's also from a different era of Goosebumps. This is the Most Wanted era. It's not Horrorland, it's not Slappy World, not Classic Series, nothing like that. This is Goosebumps Most Wanted number 6, Creature Teacher, The Final Exam. Now, I like the first Creature Teacher. It's a very solid book, really enjoyable, has some nice moments in it, some really gross out, sick moments in it too. It was a fun read, I just didn't like the ending. This one in particular, I think is a big improvement. Everything that I had problems with in that first book, this improved a lot more. Just so you know too, this is a summertime book, and people had told me that back in the day when I was doing my summertime book reviews, and I just didn't want to get into Creature Teacher stuff yet, so I just kind of avoided it. I also didn't know the degree of how much it was a summertime book. It is very much a summertime book. Now, the first book, Creature Teacher from Series 2000, took place inside of a boarding school with a kid getting shipped off to a boarding school, and it was pretty enjoyable, like I said. This one actually takes place at a summer camp. Our main character kid, I can't remember his name to save my life, was just one of those forgettable Goosebumps protagonists. There's quite a bit of them, but he's one of them. He essentially goes off to, his parents ship him off to a camp for winners, you know. He goes out there to kind of like a restaurant type of thing with his parents, and then he's picked up on a boat, and he's basically, what would the word be? It wouldn't be flown, it wouldn't be swam, I guess it would be boated. He's boated by another guy over to, I don't know. You know what I mean? He's on a boat, he gets taken to the summer camp, and I don't even remember the name of the summer camp, to be frank with you. But all I do know is that there is one particular guy who works there named Uncle Felix, who really introduces our main character to everything around him. His luggage, our main character's luggage, gets stolen as soon as he gets to the camp by a guy named Rob. That's pretty funny. Really good humor with this book in particular. I think it's one of the better R.L. Stine funny, more comedic books, but it also has some serious, dark, sad, depressing types of moments to it, which is weird to me. Especially for Goosebumps. I get weirded out because I don't see much of that in Goosebumps. So when I get it, and really get this feel of hopelessness the way this book has it, oh, it's great. It's great. It's such a surprise to me. This is a great example of one of the highlights from the Most Wanted series, and I love it because of that. Let's see. So, essentially, I'm trying to think of all the different things I cannot spoil for you, and all the things I should tell you about. Okay, Creature Teacher. Why is it called that? Why is the design such a loving throwback to the old Tim Jacobus art? Well, that's because Mrs. Marg is back. I guess that's how you say her name. I guess it's Mrs. Marg. I don't know. It's supposed to look like a scream, I believe. Anyway, she's a monstrous woman. She is an enormous woman who has black toenails and claws for toes and fingers and that kind of thing. She's very gross, and apparently she keeps hinting that she eats children. And at the end of the summer camp, which is a 2-week process, which our main character is already late for, so he's already starting off on a bad foot with her, you have that 2 weeks, and then she's going to pick somebody she's going to eat at the end of that 2 weeks. And she also has her chart back from the first book, where your name is on a piece of paper, and it's like Velcro to a strip or whatever, and she moves your names around. Now, the Velcro strip thing may not be in the book. It's more of just a list of people that she moves around all the time. And that was pretty cool. I was glad to see that back. That's one of the staples of Mrs. Marg as a creature for these Goosebumps books. It's kind of like Slappy. He can't be a dummy, or he can't not be a dummy. He has to be that. You can't know how he survived the previous attacks. I mean, it's a carry-on joke about those things, and Mrs. Marg has her own, and I love seeing all that stuff here again. But like I said, it's a darker tale to me. Series 2000 has a reputation for being a very dark series of books, and you're not wrong when you say that. They're very much a dark series. Possibly darker sometimes than the original classic era from the most of the 90s, from like 92 to like 97, or whatever it was that they ended on. Whatever year it was. I know that Series 2000 started at like 98, wasn't it? Anyway, I was very invested in this book. It was very fun. The camp atmosphere was so well delivered. The summertime feel to it was so well delivered. All of that was so well executed. I think that Stein just knocked it out of the park on that stuff. There is some gross out moments in here. Not a ton of them, but a couple of them. They are memorable, in my opinion, especially the last couple of chapters. Now, one of the things with this is, of course, kind of like in the first Creature Teacher book, our main character is kind of struggling with the other students at this camp that may or may not be trying to screw him over and put him in a situation where he's going to be the bottom of the list and stay the bottom of the list because they keep telling him, like, hey, I'm going to do this to help you, or hey, here's this tidbit of information on our next test just so you can have some help. And then they screw him somehow, and he gets in a situation where he doesn't have the proper tool he needed, or it malfunctions, or whatever, you know? And that whole struggle is interesting with our main character. I really like how it feels so hopeless to me. And it's great. And again, that comedic voice is so wonderful here. Stein really shows through with all of that. It's just such a fun read, dude. If you like Goosebumps books that are taking place during the summertime, you need to read this one. You don't have to hunt down the first book to read it, of course. Like any other Goosebumps series sequel, you don't have to read the first book or read them in order or anything like that. You can jump right into this one if you happen to own it for your most wanted collection or whatever. It's a good one. It's a really good one. I've had this one since like 2014, 2015, before my grandmother passed away. She bought it for me. I've had it for a long time, and I just never got around to reading it. And of course, eventually I got into collecting Goosebumps, and I'm glad I was able to eventually, all this time later, work my way back to reading this book. Almost 10 years later, pretty much. It's getting closer and closer. It's already 2022. But I have to tell you, I had a blast with this book. It was such a fun time. It was everything I wanted the first book to be. I think everything that I complained about in my review for the first book that I thought were completely just off moments to me, things that should have been tweaked a little bit better. This feels like a better version of the first book, but it does feel, and I do think this is a nitpick about this particular book, it does feel like a complete copy and paste from the first book except for the summer camp setting. Really, honestly, the formula, the story, the events are slightly different, but they're for the most part the same exact type of thing. And I will say this too, there are some set pieces involving a cave, for example, that I absolutely love. I think it's one of the most amazing, fun setups, even scary for that matter, setups for a Goosebumps adventure, or for any kind of horror adventure I've ever had. I've never seen anything like that in a book, period, which was cool. That was something I got to experience new as a horror fan. So there's some great stuff in here. If you don't already realize how much I like this book, it's a really good one. A really good one in my personal opinion. I'd love to hear what other people have to say about it. I had a lot of people surprised that I didn't love the first one, and I did like it a lot. It's a really solid one. I just think this is better for me. I think this one hits more of the notes that I wanted it to hit. So I'm immensely curious what other people are going to think down in the comment section, specifically like Completionist, Austin, Spongy, all of those folks down in the comment section. I can't wait to see what you guys say down there. Just because I think this is a big improvement in my personal taste compared to what the first book was like. I just really liked it a lot. I thought it was a really good one. I really, really recommend this one if you guys haven't read it before. And I do recommend it and say it's a better book, in my opinion, than the first one. It has a lot to offer. Really fun. Like I said, kind of scary at times, too. Some of the situations our main character gets into. And Mrs. Marg being back is a great, great, great thing, too. She's a great monster. I really dig her. She's fun. She adds this sinister, gross, disgusting nature to this book, into these books when I've read the two Creature Teacher books. I wish we had more of these. I'm curious if she'll ever pop up in like a GYG book or anything like that. I don't know. I'd be curious though. It'd be really cool to see her again. Maybe in a Slappy World book. If we got another Slappy World book that would have her in it, that'd be great too. I don't even care if it's a copy and paste story as long as it's good. And at least I like the ending a lot here too. The solution and the resolution of the actual situation that our main character is going through in this book, I really dig it. I really like what happened here. I was expecting something that would fall apart in the end, kind of like the first book, or kind of like a lot of the more recent Goosebumps books, like the Slappy World series. Pretty much every ending in that series has been bad, in my opinion. But I really, really like this one. It actually came together very well, in my opinion. It's not amazing by any means, but it's a really good one. If I had to rate Goosebumps Most Wanted, number 6, Creature Teacher The Final Exam, on a 5-star basis, by the way, I really love the cover of this book, I would probably give this book about a 4 out of 5 stars. And I lean more into that, and I think it's above a 4, but I can't give it a 5. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Really solid one. I really, really enjoyed this. Again, not amazing, but a good one, definitely, absolutely. So what are your thoughts on Goosebumps Most Wanted? Create Your Teacher, The Final Exam. Did you guys love this one? Did you hate it? Do you like it more than the original? What do you think about all that? I'd love to hear it down in the comments section down below, guys. Thank you for watching, and I really love that cover. It's a good one. That's one of my favorites of the Most Wanted era. I was surprised this late in the game of reviewing books for this channel to get a Most Wanted book that really resonated with me still. I really like this one. It kind of surprises me how much I enjoyed this one. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below, guys. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and goodbye.